Ever since the release of Fury Road back in 2015, there has been a debate amongst Mad Max fans. And that debate is this: which is better, the Road Warrior or Fury Road? To many fans of this franchise, the Road Warrior and Fury Road are the peaks of this series. Sure, I bet there are some people out there that like the first one the best, or even Thunderdome, but they're few and far between. With the Road Warrior Fury Road debate, it really comes down to taste. Do you prefer the one that has a more focused story with an explosive climax? Or do you like the big, bombastic, nonstop thrill ride? Oh, and one movie has assless chaps and the other does not. So there's that. Suck it, Fury Road. Personally, I lean towards Fury Road being the best, but The Road Warrior is still a damn good movie, and for my money, the second best in the franchise. One of the reasons The Road Warrior is so good is that it feels so different from the first one. It's the first movie to transition from a questionable functioning society to a full blown apocalyptic wasteland. There are no more cops, no more citizens, no jobs. Everything has been wiped out, and what we have left is survivors. The foundations of society that existed in the first movie are now gone, and we bear witness to the absolute madness that the world has become. The theme of good versus evil and what it means to turn into the thing you hate are now gone. The Road Warrior has evolved to survival and hope, which is a theme that is once again explored in Fury Road. In fact, watching this again post Fury Road, it's interesting to see the similarities between the two, especially when it pertains to Max. Like Fury Road, Max in The Road Warrior is selfish. In both movies, he just wants one specific thing and doesn't want to get involved in people's business. In The Road Warrior, he just wants the gas and his car back. In Fury Road, he wants his car. In both films, he could give a flying fuck what's happening around him. He just wants his stuff back to go on his merry little way. But in both films, he's forced to get involved and have a change of heart in the end. I just thought this was a cool parallel and one I didn't really connect with until having rewatched this. Another aspect I found interesting is how little dialogue there is in this film. For the first 30 to 40 minutes, the movie is, for the most part, a silent film carried by its incredible score. Sure, there is dialogue in this stretch, but it's pretty sparse. And most of the dialogue comes from the Gyro Captain, a new and completely awesome character. The bond he wants to share with Max is both adorable and charming. Once we get to the fuel compound, we're introduced to the main baddie of the film, the Humongous. But if I'm being honest, after just having watched the first one, I think the Toe Cutter is a way more memorable villain. Sure, the Humongous is like a cool character design, but there was something so psychotic about the Toe Cutter that I found to be entrancing. The best way to compare these two guys is the Toe Cutter is kind of like the Joker, and the Humongous is kind of like Bane. Both are scary in their own ways, but there's something more interesting about the Joker Toe Cutter type characters. They're unpredictable, and it's totally nerve-wracking. In any case, Humongous shows up and gives a memorable speech to the people of the settlement, and it's fantastic. I mean, shit, how many times have you mimicked the lines, just walk away? I know I have many times in my life. Alongside Humongous, you have Wex, the assless chaps man himself. He's a little too over the top for me and completely underutilized, but he's a presence nonetheless. This movie might be slow for some, which is why I think most people choose Fury Road as the best, but I would kind of disagree. I find this movie to be entertaining from the get-go, and I think the fact that the movie makes you wait and wait and wait for a big action scene is totally worth it. In my review for Mad Max, I said that it was kind of a bummer that the best action scene of the movie happens at the very beginning, and the movie never really hits that high that that scene brings. But here on The Road Warrior, it's actually reversed. The best action scene in the movie is in the last 15 minutes, and holy shit does it still hold up. I was actually kind of surprised with how long the sequence lasts. This chase scene is a solid 15 to 20 minutes long, and it's fucking insane. There's no CGI here, there's no green screen. This is balls to the walls, stuntmen and stunt drivers doing the most insane stunts you'll see from an 80s movie. It really is something to behold, and it totally kicks ass. And at the end of it all, you just find out that it was all a decoy. Man, what a ballsy ending. What I also didn't really think about until I rewatched this is that this is the first one in the series to utilize the desert. And the way Miller photographs the desert is both gorgeous and terrifying. There's something so haunting about watching one car driving away in the distance while dozens of other cars follow in pursuit and you see like the dust clouds trailing behind him. It's a phenomenal visual and a visual he repeats in Fury Road. The Road Warrior is one of the best action films from the 80s and still stands as one of the best Mad Max movies ever made. And depending on where you stand, it might be the best, and it's for good reason. It has an interesting story, there's stakes involved for the lead characters, and the climax action scene is a stunning achievement even by today's standards. I mean, shit, I don't mean to pick on Marvel here, but can anyone out there give me a Marvel movie with a better action sequence than what we get here in this climax? The Road Warrior is a classic and easily the second best movie of the franchise. Next up, I'll be covering Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome, a movie I've tried to start many times in the past, but could never finish it. With what I have seen of this movie, you probably won't like what I have to say.